When you hear the word millionaire, what picture comes to mind? A luxury mansion? A shiny sports car? Designer clothes and lavish vacations? That's the image most people see, but it's also the great illusion of wealth. In The Millionaire Next Door, Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko uncover a surprising truth. Most millionaires don't live like that. They don't flaunt their money or show off their success. They live quietly, modestly, often right next door. This book isn't about the fantasy of getting rich quick. It's about the reality of how wealth is truly built through discipline, planning, and a lifestyle of purpose. Stanley and Danko spent years studying America's millionaires, collecting data, conducting interviews, and looking beyond appearances. What they found will challenge everything you think you know about wealth. Real millionaires are not celebrities or athletes. They're small business owners, teachers, engineers, farmers, and professionals. They don't spend to impress. They save to progress. They build wealth slowly through smart habits and steady effort. The authors discovered two types of people when it comes to money: prodigious accumulators of wealth, those who save and invest far more than expected for their income, and under-accumulators of wealth, those who earn well but spend it all trying to look rich. This book reveals why most people misunderstand wealth and how you can join the quiet group of true millionaires who live below their means, invest wisely, and enjoy genuine financial independence. Through research, real stories, and timeless principles, you'll learn what makes these millionaires different. You'll see how they manage their money, raise their children, and avoid the traps that keep others stuck in debt. The message is simple but powerful. Wealth isn't about what you spend. It's about what you keep. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up every day to make smart choices. The millionaire next door could be the person living across the street, or it could be you a few years from now once you start applying these principles. So, as you listen, forget the myths of instant riches. Open your mind to the quiet truth about money, discipline, and freedom.
Because the real secret to becoming wealthy is learning to live like the millionaire next door. Chapter 1. Meet the Millionaire Next Door. What does a millionaire really look like? If you imagine someone wearing a designer suit, driving a luxury car, and living in a mansion, you're not alone. That's what most people think wealth looks like. But in truth, most millionaires don't live that way. Thomas Stanley and William Danko discovered something surprising. Real millionaires often live in average neighborhoods, drive modest cars, and lead simple lives. They are the quiet, disciplined individuals who live next door, not the flashy ones you see on TV. The authors spent years studying America's wealthy. They interviewed hundreds of self-made millionaires and analyzed how they earn, save, and spend their money. And what they found shattered the myth of the rich lifestyle. Most millionaires are not born rich. They built their fortunes slowly through hard work, careful planning, and living below their means. They are ordinary people who made extraordinary financial choices. Stanley and Danko describe two kinds of people: prodigious accumulators of wealth and under-accumulators of wealth. PAWs save and invest consistently. They control their spending, avoid debt, and let compound growth do the heavy lifting. They understand that wealth is not measured by income, but by net worth. Under-accumulators of wealth, on the other hand, look rich but aren't. They earn high incomes but spend nearly everything to maintain appearances. They chase status, not freedom. And that's why they stay trapped in financial insecurity. The true millionaire doesn't seek to impress others. They focus on independence. the ability to live life on their own terms. They value time, security, and family more than fancy brands or luxury lifestyles. Many of them own small businesses or work in practical professions. They budget carefully, invest steadily, and think long-term. They've mastered the art of quiet wealth, wealth built on purpose, not performance.
The authors challenge you to look closer at the people around you. The millionaire might not be the one with the newest car. It might be the neighbor mowing his own lawn who's been saving and investing for decades. The lesson is clear. Wealth is not about how much you spend. It's about how wisely you live. True financial success comes not from luck, but from discipline, practiced daily. So the next time you picture a millionaire, don't imagine the mansion on the hill. Imagine the ordinary person next door, quietly, steadily, becoming financially free. Because that's what the real millionaire looks like. Chapter 2. Frugal, Frugal, Frugal. If there's one word that defines the millionaire next door, it's frugal. Not cheap, not stingy, but intentional. Every dollar has a purpose and nothing is spent without thought. Thomas Stanley and William Danko discovered that nearly all self-made millionaires share this mindset. They live well below their means, and they're proud of it. To them, money is a tool, not a trophy. Frugality isn't about denying yourself joy. It's about knowing what truly matters and spending in line with your values. A millionaire might drive a 10-year-old car, not because they can't afford better, but because they don't need better. They find happiness in independence, not indulgence, and they know that every unnecessary expense chips away at their freedom. The authors share stories of millionaires who still clip coupons, who negotiate for better prices, who live in the same homes for decades. To outsiders, it may look boring, but inside those walls is peace, control, and financial security. Frugality also builds confidence. When you don't need to impress anyone, you stop comparing yourself to everyone. You stop chasing the next shiny thing and start building something lasting. Stanley and Danko remind us that wealth is a result of restraint as much as ambition. You don't get rich by accident, you get rich by design. And that design is built one mindful choice at a time.
Most millionaires keep detailed budgets and track their spending carefully. They plan their purchases and avoid debt like it's quicksand. They don't let money slip away on impulse. They understand that discipline today means freedom tomorrow. Here's the irony. The people who look the richest often aren't, and the ones who quietly save, invest, and plan, they're the ones who become truly wealthy. Frugality isn't a punishment. It's the quiet power behind every real success story. It's what allows the millionaire next door to sleep soundly at night, knowing they control their money and not the other way around. Because, in the end, wealth isn't about how big your house is. It's about how steady your foundation feels. Chapter 3. Time, Energy, and Money. Time, energy, and money, three resources we all have, but only the wise know how to balance. In this chapter, Thomas Stanley and William Danko reveal how millionaires manage these resources differently from everyone else. Most people spend all their energy trying to earn more money. They trade hours for dollars, chase promotions, and exhaust themselves keeping up with lifestyles they can't afford. But the millionaire next door thinks differently. They understand that money means nothing without control over time. True wealth is having the freedom to use your time the way you want. To work because you choose to, not because you have to. To spend days with your family, pursue your passions, and live life on your terms. Millionaires are masters of prioritization. They guard their time as carefully as their money. They plan their days, delegate when possible, and avoid wasting energy on appearances or empty competition. They don't chase every opportunity. They focus on the ones that truly matter. The authors found that many millionaires value efficiency more than income. They automate, organize, and simplify their financial lives. They see time as their most valuable currency. They know that every unnecessary purchase costs more than money. It costs time. The time it takes to earn it, maintain it, worry about it. So they live simply, not out of fear, but out of wisdom.
Underaccumulators of wealth often do the opposite. They work harder and longer, but never seem to move ahead. They waste energy trying to look rich instead of becoming rich. Their time is spent maintaining an image rather than building independence. Millionaires understand the quiet truth. The goal isn't to have more things, it's to have more life. They use money to buy time, not status. To them, wealth is a way to reclaim energy and peace. Stanley and Danko remind us that being rich isn't just about financial numbers. It's about designing a life that feels full, calm, and free. When your time, energy, and money are aligned, you stop chasing and start living. That's the real luxury. That's the essence of the Millionaire Next Door. So ask yourself, how are you spending your time? What's truly worth your energy? Because every hour and every dollar is a choice, and those choices, over time, define your wealth and your freedom. Chapter 4. You aren't what you drive. If there's one myth that keeps people broke, it's the belief that your car defines your success. The world tells us that luxury means achievement, that the car you drive says who you are. But the millionaires next door know better. Thomas Stanley and William Danko discovered a fascinating truth. Most millionaires don't drive luxury cars. In fact, the majority buy used vehicles, reliable, practical, and fully paid for. Their goal isn't to impress the neighbors, it's to stay free from debt. Society measures success by appearance, but millionaires measure it by independence. They understand that every new car comes with silent costs, depreciation, insurance, and endless temptation to upgrade. So instead of buying status, they invest in assets that grow. Many of the millionaires studied drive cars several years old. Fords, Toyotas, Hondas, vehicles that get them where they need to go quietly and efficiently. Their pride comes not from brand names, but from financial freedom. Meanwhile, the underaccumulators of wealth often do the opposite. They buy luxury cars to feel successful, to prove something to others, to display an image of wealth they haven't truly built.
To prove something to others, to display an image of wealth they haven't truly built. But that image is expensive to maintain, and as their car payments grow, their net worth stays small. They may look rich on the road, but they're often broke at home. Stanley and Danko remind us that the real measure of success isn't in what you drive, it's in how you live. Owning a car outright brings more peace than leasing a new one every year. Freedom feels better than flash. Millionaires focus on what really matters: a secure home, strong investments, and the ability to choose their lifestyle. Their cars serve them, not the other way around. A shiny car might turn heads, but a quiet plan turns dreams into reality. The millionaire next door knows that vehicles lose value, but wisdom, patience, and frugality compound in worth. So the next time you see someone in an expensive car, don't assume they're rich. Assume they're paying for it. And remember, The truly wealthy don't buy to impress, they buy to progress. You aren't what you drive, you are what you keep. And that's the difference between looking rich and being rich. Chapter 5. Economic Outpatient Care. Money can be a blessing, but when given without wisdom, it can quietly become a curse. In this chapter, Thomas Stanley and William Danko explore what they call economic outpatient care. It's the financial help that parents often give to their adult children. Gifts, loans, or handouts meant to help, but often doing harm instead. The authors found that many wealthy parents, especially first-generation millionaires, try to make life easier for their children. They pay for cars, homes, weddings, and sometimes even monthly expenses. It feels loving, but it can unintentionally create dependence, not discipline. Stanley and Danko's research revealed a pattern. The more adult children receive, the less they tend to build on their own. Those who are constantly supported rarely develop the habits that create lasting wealth.
Economic outpatient care weakens responsibility. It teaches comfort instead of courage and consumption instead of creation. Over time, it can erode ambition and turn capable people into lifelong dependents. Meanwhile, the millionaires next door often take a different path. They help their children, but with purpose. They invest in education, not indulgence. They offer guidance, not constant gifts. And they teach values, not entitlement. The authors point out something striking. Many who receive large financial support spend more than those who earn it. Easy money often leads to easy spending and rarely to wealth. True financial success must be earned, not inherited, because the lessons learned in the process, discipline, patience, resilience, are worth more than any check. The millionaire next door believes in empowering, not enabling. They model financial responsibility through their own behavior, living below their means, saving diligently, and showing their children what real independence looks like. Economic outpatient care, though given in love, can quietly destroy motivation. The best gift parents can give is the ability to stand on their own feet, to build, to fail, to rise again. Wealth that lasts is wealth that's learned. And the most valuable inheritance isn't money, it's mindset. So the next time you think about helping someone financially, ask, am I building their strength or borrowing their future? Because real love doesn't remove struggle. It prepares people to overcome it. And that's the lesson the millionaire next door lives by every single day. Chapter 6. Affirmative Action, Family Style. Every parent wants the best for their children, but sometimes, in trying to make things easier, they make them harder. In this chapter, Thomas Stanley and William Danko explore a quiet truth about wealth and family. When financial help becomes favoritism, it can divide families and destroy motivation. The authors call it affirmative action, family style. It's when parents decide who gets help and how much, based not on need, but on emotion. Sometimes the most financially responsible children receive the least support, while those who struggle or refuse to take responsibility receive the most. It starts with love, but it often ends with resentment. Well-meaning parents may think they're helping, but they're really rewarding poor financial behavior. They send the wrong message that the less disciplined you are, the more help you'll get. Stanley and Danko's research shows a pattern. Families that practice this type of affirmative action often create dependency. The children who rely on parental help rarely build real wealth. Those who are left to find their own way, however, tend to thrive. Millionaires next door understand this. They believe in fairness, but also in accountability. They know that real success must come from effort, not inheritance. Instead of giving handouts, they offer hand-ups, opportunities for education, mentorship, and values that teach self-reliance. They encourage their children to earn, save, and plan on their own. The authors tell stories of parents who quietly supported their children's dreams, not by paying their bills, but by teaching them how to manage money. And those children, in turn, became strong, confident, and financially independent adults. Affirmative action, family style, teaches us a deeper truth. Money can unite or divide, depending on how it's given. Support without accountability weakens. Guidance with love strengthens. The millionaire next door builds wealth not just for themselves, but for generations. They pass down principles, not just possessions. They teach that dignity comes from achievement, not allowance. Because in the end, the goal isn't to raise rich children. It's to raise children who know how to become rich through discipline, patience, and purpose. So the next time you think about giving financial help to family, ask yourself, am I helping them grow or helping them stay the same? Real wealth is measured not by what we give away, but by what we teach those we love to build for themselves. Chapter 7. Find your niche.
Every millionaire has a story, but almost all share one secret. They found their niche. Thomas Stanley and William Danko discovered that wealth rarely comes from luck or chance. It comes from identifying a place in the world, a business, a skill, a problem, and serving it with focus, patience, and consistency. The millionaires next door are not scattered in 100 directions. They specialize. They find what they're good at, what people value, and they pour themselves into it. Many of them own small businesses, dry cleaners, contractors, farmers, shop owners, professionals. Not glamorous, but steady. They understand that real wealth grows quietly through years of doing one thing well. Finding a niche means choosing depth over speed, mastery over distraction. It's not about chasing trends. It's about building something solid and reliable. The millionaire next door becomes indispensable in their field. They build trust, relationships, and a reputation that lasts longer than any paycheck. Stanley and Danko's research shows that self-employed people are 4 times more likely to become millionaires than employees. Why? Because they control their time, their choices, and their destiny. They think like owners, not like workers. But finding your niche isn't only about business, it's about purpose. It's about doing work that fits your values and strengths. When your work and passion align, success becomes more than money. It becomes fulfillment. Millionaires don't jump from one idea to another. They stay, they learn, they adapt, and they grow. Over years, that patience compounds, just like their investments. The authors remind us that a niche isn't found overnight. It's discovered through trial, error, and persistence. It's about being consistent when others quit. It's about solving problems that matter to others, and in return, creating lasting wealth for yourself. The millionaire next door doesn't wait for opportunity. They build it. They know that the world rewards those who create value and stay the course.
So if you want to walk the same path, start by asking, what do I do better than most? Who can I serve deeply? And how can I build something that grows even when I'm not watching it? Because wealth doesn't come from chasing every door that opens. It comes from finding one and walking through it with purpose. That's how the millionaire next door lives, quietly, steadily,
building a life of freedom, one wise choice, one focused day, and one simple niche at a time.